Welcome to Full Circle Housing and Mortgages. I am Lucy Stewart Desmore, a local broker associate at Realty Pros Assured and chairperson of the Housing Opportunities Committee, dedicated to providing a new certification for our area realtors and keep potential first-time home buyers informed of programs that will assist them in the buying process. I am also a major sponsor of the annual housing fair held at Allen Chapel AME Church, located at 580 George Ingram Boulevard. The fair will take place this year on April 29th, 2023 from 10 to 2. The housing fair serves the city of Daytona Beach and all of the east side of the county. There are 2 additional housing fairs this year. One will be held on the west side of the county at City Hall in Deltona on April 15th, and the other housing fair will be held in Flagler County at the Flagler County Association of Realtors on April 22nd. As we approach the dates, we will dedicate at least 2 shows to the housing fair with various guests who will participate as vendors and the committee members. Debora Crane will now introduce herself. Debora?
Yes, I'm Debora Crane. Good morning, everyone. I am a mortgage broker with Lone Yap Mortgage, and my NMLS number is 331995. And it's my pleasure to give you a little bit of the background with who we have on the call today with us. His name is Mark Pease, and as Lucy indicated, he's with Florida Housing Finance Corporation. He's been in the business about as long as I have, over 30 years, and I've been in the business over 43 years. So between the two of us, we've probably seen a lot. But he is the individual that's going to go over the Hometown Heroes program that has been out there for a few months now, and everybody is very active in knowing more about that. So I'm going to take it away from me and head over to Mark and let you go ahead and explain the Hometown Heroes for us.
Great. Well, thanks, Debora and Lucy. Thanks for inviting me today. And good afternoon, everybody. Again, my name is Mark Pease. I am the Business Development Manager for Florida Housing Finance Corporation. And when it comes to down payment assistance in the state of Florida, ladies and gentlemen, you need to think of 3 levels. You have your city programs, your county programs, and then you have your state program. Florida Housing Finance Corporation is your state housing finance agency. And if you didn't notice, there is a state housing finance agency in every state of the United States, including Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. So if you decide to move to the U.S. Virgin Islands tomorrow, look up the U.S. Virgin Islands State Housing Finance Agency to find out what down payment assistance programs available there. Every time I make that statement, I'm like, I need to get on a plane and go check it out. But when it comes to down payment assistance, whether it's the city, the county, or the state programs, the funds are available for down payment and closing costs. It covers both of those. None of these down payment assistance will negatively impact if you have a seller contributed towards the buyer's closing costs. So on an FHA and USDA loan, a seller can pay up to 6% of a buyer's closing costs. On VA, 4%, and Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, which are conventional loan products, that will go up to 3%. So if you're receiving down payment assistance, you can have the seller pay up to those percentages of closing costs, and they're not negatively impacted whatsoever just because you're getting the down payment assistance program. And as Lucy and Debora just stated, Florida Housing Finance Corporation was the recipient of $100 million from the state of Florida. This was announced by Governor DeSantis on May 23rd of 2022. The program did take effect on June 1st of 2022. And just to give you some updated numbers, this is as of last Friday. I get updated numbers on Monday for the previous Friday. We have 4,144 loans have been locked in, $1.2 billion in first mortgage loans, $60,699,783 out of that $100 million has been reserved. So there's just slightly over $39 million remaining. The average down payment assistance being received by buyers is $14,600. $647.63. And so based on the average down payment assistance reserve per day, we still have approximately about another 5.7 months of funding available. And the funding that's available, as mentioned, is for the Hometown Heroes. The Hometown Heroes were really set up to be eligible occupations or veterans, active military, or a widow of a deceased veteran. So I like to use the analogy of two bicycle seats. There's two bicycle seats for the Hometown Heroes. And the first one we have here are the veterans, active military, and a widow of a veteran. Prior to Hometown Heroes, we had a program called Salute Our Soldiers, which was just for the veterans, active military, and widows of veteran, and they're rolled in together for the Hometown Heroes. So if you're a veteran, active military, or a widow of a deceased veteran, you are automatically registered in or eligible for the Hometown Heroes program. The other is the eligible occupations that you've heard. Originally, we started with 54 occupations. They're up to about 104 occupations now. The occupations haven't changed since October. And those that are listed in the occupation, there's certain things that need to happen. We need to have copies of your active license or certification. You must be working full-time in the occupation of that license and certification. I'm not trying to pick on teachers here, but just give you an example. So if you have a teacher, they usually have an active certification, and that individual must be working as a teacher full-time with that active certification. If you have a teacher who may just, maybe they retired in June of last year, and so now they're retired, do they still possibly have an active certification as a teacher? Possible. Are they working full-time in the occupation of a teacher? They are not. So a retired teacher, firefighter, police officer are not eligible to get the down payment assistance underneath Hometown Heroes. But going back towards that, so we've retired is not eligible. And for example, the teacher again. So we have a person who has their active certification as a teacher, but they're working full time. But let's say they're working as an assistant manager at Home Goods instead of teacher. So they also would not be eligible because once again, the person who's trying to qualify for the Hometown Heroes must have an active license or certification, must be working full time in the occupation of that license or certification. Just to let you know, Hometown Heroes, again, going back to the veteran, because the person is a veteran, active military, or a widow of a deceased veteran, they're automatically, again, rolled into the Hometown Heroes. We are not looking at the occupation. We are not looking at the retirement. Both the eligible occupation as well as the military widow, active military, or the widow of a deceased veteran, you do have to have income coming in, because even though the program does help with the down payment assistance and towards closing costs, what you qualify for a mortgage is based on your income as well as your debt. Now, going back to down payment assistance in general, again, you have the city, county, and the state programs. The city and county programs, they usually have limited down payment assistance funds, typically coming from the SHIP funds. That's the State Housing Initiative program. So again, when it comes to the down payment assistance, you have city, county, and the state. The source of funds for the state of Florida, for the Florida Housing Finance Corporation, is different than the local city and county programs. So where some of the city and county programs run out of funds, here at Florida Housing Finance Corporation, we are fully funded 365, 24/7. Chip, my boss, told me when I was hired, Mark, you're going to find out that Florida Housing is the state of Florida's greatest secret, and indeed we are. We receive numerous phone calls every single day because buyers are told, oh, the local city or county is out of down payment assistance funds and there's no funds available. I know I'm repeating myself here. If you're in need of down payment assistance, Florida Housing Finance Corporation has 4 different types of down payment assistance loans, including Hometown Heroes. And of course, I'd like to think that a lot of people are eligible as a hometown hero through everything we went through, through the pandemic. But again, not every occupation is listed. So if you're not eligible for one of those occupations, we do have 3 other down payment assistance loans available for you guys. The way the program works, it is a lender-driven program. So we have a list of approved lenders. You can use our Home Buyer Wizard on our website. The website is www.floridahousing.org. Again, Florida all spelled out, housing.org. And if you go to our main website, you can scroll down just a little bit. You're going to see 6 different colored squares. The first one is a red fuchsia square. The third link down is the Home Buyer Wizard program. It's going to ask you to list the number of people who are going to live in the house and the county that you're looking to purchase in. It will then list the down payment assistance we have available. You can select any one of them. It does not matter which one you select. And then as you scroll down further, there's going to be a button that says Find a Lender and Find a Realtor as far as that goes. But ladies and gentlemen, you have 2 people who are hosting this conversation today. Both Lucy and Debora have both as a real estate agent have completed our class, Affordable Housing, what every real estate professional should know. And Debora is an approved lender that can access the program. So, after the radio presentation today, if you were looking for these programs, these fine ladies who are specialized in this want to help you find a home within your community. And again, that Debora can help anybody, no matter which county they're located in, as far as that goes. I did take a little quick glance of Volusia County Zillow statistics, and the typical home value as of January 31st for Volusia County is $325,683. And the reason I make that point or bring that up to you is just to let you know there are purchase price limits in our program, and that typical home value of $325,683, that is below our sales price limit as far as some of our programs. So just to let you know that there are 2 things that are looked at by the city, the county, and the state. One is an income limit. The income limit, again, is based on the county the property is located at, again in Volusia County. And then the sales price limit is looked at as well. Now, underneath Hometown Heroes, we do not have a sales price limit. We actually have a loan limit. And so the loan limits for Volusia County under Hometown Heroes is $472,030 for an FHA loan, and then for our conventional and VA loans, it's $726,200. So if, for example, if you did have a purchase price of $572,000 and you were getting an FHA loan, and that FHA loan limit is $472,030, you would have to bring $100,000 to closing. Well, Mark, you guys don't care if I have $100,000, and our program is called a no asset test program, so we don't look at the assets. We look if you qualify for the program, and then the down payment assistance is available to you. Now, our other non-Hometown Heroes programs, we have bond loans and we have non-bond loans, and they have lower sales price limits in that regard. For example, on our non-bond project, we have one sales price limit of $449,269. But I know there's plenty of housing still available with less than that amount. And one of the questions you usually get is, Mark, on the income limits, and we do have income limits. Well, what if and the income limits really is the maximum that you can make. So, for example, for Hometown Heroes, on an FHA, VA, or conventional loan, the income limit is $118,950. We do have a flexibility underneath our Hometown Heroes program, the flexibility because it's what we call a non-bond product. And so if you have a husband and wife and they make $118,950 and a penny, so husband and wife makes 1 penny more than the income limit. Well, technically, they would not qualify because their income exceeds the income limit. But because of this Hometown Heroes and our non-bond product, we have flexibility underneath our non-bond product. The loan officer can remove one of the bars off the application. Let's just say we remove the husband, and the husband only makes a penny. So now the applications reflect an income of $118,950. So the application is at or below the income limits. Therefore, they would qualify for the down payment assistance. Now, most times you're not looking at an income and they're just making a penny. So as you probably can already guess, on any loan, whether you get down payment assistance or not, when you remove a borrower off the application, that income cannot be counted, and typically it reduces the buying power of that application because you're removing that application. But my point here being is that the loan officer can remove a borrower, and that means actually more buyers will qualify for down payment assistance underneath our Hometown Heroes and our non-bond program. On our other programs, we have a bond loan. In a bond loan, they have to look at the income of everybody over the age of 18 who's going to move into that house no matter what the relationship is. This is what's done on a USDA loan. So if you have, one borrower, and let's say the husband and wife and the spouse, but the mother-in-law is going to move into the house as well, they have to count the income of the mother-in-law against the income limits. And the bond loans have the lowest income limits in our program. So when that basically the statement to you being, there is some flexibility. And what I'm really trying to point out to you, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to down payment assistance, a lot of people think that these income limits are lower than what they are, and they're actually higher. So again, more buyers probably qualify for down payment assistance that you would really think. And really, if you are in need of down payment assistance, because not everybody has a family member who can give them a gift, not everybody has money laying around. And, one of the surprising things, ladies and gentlemen, is I take a look at some statistics on our loan. And the average credit score of those that we helped in 2022, the average credit score of 5,535 loans was 713. We have a lot of borrowers out there, or buyers out there, who have great credit. They just don't have the ability to save up the money for the down payment and closing costs. These programs, whether it comes from the city, whether it comes from the county, or here at your state housing agency, Florida Housing, these are programs that help you as a buyer get into the home. And Lucy and Deborah can help you analyze and look at these programs to find out which program is best for you. Again, some days the best program is the city program, some days it's the county, and some days the city and county are out of funds, and maybe the best program that day is the state program, especially if the city and county is out of funds. One of the surprising things about ownership rates, they've been keeping track of ownership rates since 1940. Back in 1940, only 43.6% of all Americans were homeowners. Surprisingly, that has gone up. We recently, actually at the end of first quarter of 2023, I apologize, this year, we went up to 65.9%. That is a slight drop, which kind of surprising. The highest we ever had was 67.9% in the last 10 years. Last 10 years, 67.9% was achieved in the first quarter of 2020, and the highest on record was back in 2004 at 69.2%. So we did see a drop just recently on the number of Americans who are homeowners. But the goal of all of us, whether it's the state program here at Florida Housing, your county or your city, and as well as for Deborah and Lucy, is to help you find a home. I did need to let you know that the minimum credit score in our program is 640. Many of these city and counties are also at 640, and some of them go down to 620. My background, just to let you know, is I spent 11 years as a state certified appraiser, 7 years as a real estate broker, and 19 years as the assistant vice president of home loans or mortgage manager at several credit unions, including the Walt Disney World Credit Union. And probably one of the biggest thing over 19 years is helping credit union members out is to help them understand that your credit score, no matter what it may be today, it can change. You can work on your credit score. So, for example, I need to probably lose easily 40 pounds. So I go to my doctor. My doctor says, Mark, you need to do this, this, and this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you talk to Lucy and you talk to Deborah. Hey, I have a low credit score. What do I need to do? And they will give you advice on what you need to do to increase your credit score. I can tell you I've taken one individual from a 540 credit score to 720 over 9 months. And so they will give you ideas and things you can do to increase your credit score. But just like me, I need to lose 40 pounds, and the doctor says, hey, Mark, don't eat this, don't eat that, do this, work out, do this, walk, and so forth. They're going to give you the advice. And over 19 years, I gave a lot of advice to a lot of credit union members. Some of them took it. They saw the results of what we suggested to do. Other ones, they didn't. So if you have a bad credit, my statement to you is succinctly, credit scores are reflective of your past, and you can make changes to increase your scores to get them to higher than what they need be. Lucy will tell you that when you're looking at credit scores, there are 3 credit reports that come in. They're from Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, and they use the middle of 3 scores. So if you have a score of 630, 640, and 650, the middle score is 640. That is the score that we're looking at in regards to these type of programs. And again, Lucy and Debbie can go even further into that type of explanation to help you guys out. But just to let you know, our program here, again, at Florida Housing for the Hometown Heroes, is what we call a deferred down payment assistance. Because, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to down payment assistance, there are 4 types of down payment assistance that are available through the city and the county levels. The first one is a grant. A grant is where the money is given to you at closing, and the grant does not have to be paid back. There are fewer and fewer of these available. Matter of fact, we had a grant up until 2019 when Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac basically said our grants are being paid off too quickly, and so our grant loan has changed into a forgiveness type of down payment assistance. So that's the second one of the 4 that I'm about to mention to you. Forgiveness is where you're given the money at closing, a down payment assistance, and the down payment is forgiven over a period of time. In our program, it is 5 years or 20% a year. The third one I'm going to mention here is going to be a loan. I'm going to do this one first because it's easier to explain. That's where you're given the down payment assistance at closing, and you actually have a loan. You have an interest rate, and you have a fixed term of payment. So let's just say an interest rate is 3%. It's fixed. The term of payment may be 15 years, and this one it's a payment of $69.40 a month. So you would get an actual loan, and you'd be paying payments on that loan. And the final one here is the deferred down payment assistance. So the Hometown Heroes is a deferred down payment assistance, and this is how it basically works. You will be given on Hometown Heroes, the down payment assistance is 5% of the total loan amount. It's not 5% of the sales price, it's 5% of the total loan amount, up to $25,000. So let's just say today that you were given $25,000 on your down payment assistance. That $25,000 is a 0% interest rate loan. You will never be charged a penny of interest on this loan. But this down payment assistance allowed you to purchase a home. The down payment assistance is recorded as a mortgage on the properties. And when it comes to deferred down payment assistance, if you get it from a city, county, or state, you're going to look at the deferred down payment assistance or either a 10-year, 15-year, 20-year, or 30 years. So you're given the $25,000. It is recorded, again, in our program as a 30-year loan. You are not required to make any payments on this. There's no contractual payments are required. However, a deferred has what we call an action and has a maturity. So on the action, because it's recorded as a 30-year mortgage against your property, if you sell, refinance, transfer the deed, or you turn the property into a rental property, that action is going to cause that down payment assistance to be called due. You would be due, have to pay back the $25,000. If none of that happens over 30 years, so you reach a 30-year, you have the loan maturity, then the $25,000 is due back at the end of the 30 years. Once again, no monthly payments are required, but if you want to, you can make monthly payments. So I just mentioned to you that you got $25,000. Well, you're going to be given 30 years. So if I take the $25,000, and what I want to do is I want to take, you want to take your term of these loans, the 10, 15, 20, or 30 years, and you take that and you multiply it times 12. So if I take $25,000 and I divide it by 360 payments, all right, because you're doing a 30-year mortgage, you could pay back $69.44 a month, and you would have this down payment assistance paid back in the 30-year time frame. Okay, assuming that you never sold, never refinanced, never transferred the deed, or never turned the property into the rental property. But having worked at a credit union for 19 years, we talk about financial responsibility at a credit union. So the question is, you're given $25,000 today. It is a 0% loan. You're not being charged a penny of interest, and you could pay $69.44 per month to pay that loan. But the question for you is, as a borrower, do you have a credit card? Oh, you do? What's the interest rate on that credit card? Oh, it's 20%? Well, ladies and gentlemen, financially, the question is, should you be paying the $69.44 towards the 20% credit card, or should you apply that towards the 0% rate loan? That's your choice. Let's assume you pay off the credit card. Do you have a car loan, or do you have any other debt that's out there? Yeah, I have a car loan. The interest rate's 4%. Well, should you spend the extra $69.44 towards the car loan at a 4% rate, or should you apply it towards the down payment assistance loan at 0%? Dave Ramsey's a gentleman out there. He calls that snowballing, where you pay off the higher interest rate. But again, the statement to you is that you get to decide what you want to do in these type of down payment assistance loans. Again, you can make payments if you want to. Only one of our 4 down payment assistance is allowed. However, if your loan officer is approved with the local city and county program, and I did forget to mention this before, so I'll mention it now. With Florida Housing Finance Corporation, the State Housing Finance Agency, you are required to get the first mortgage with us in order to get the down payment assistance. But if the loan officer can help you with access to the local city or county programs, they can stack or layer the city or county down payment assistance on top of our first and second mortgage, getting you additional money. Title insurance is not allowed on down payment assistance. That's a saving to you. And the other thing I want to let you know here with Florida Housing, you're exempt from 2 fees that you would see on a mortgage. That is a doc stamps on the mortgage and then intangible tax. There is another state tax that's collected. That's called doc stamps on the deed. There is no exemption for that. Again, the savings on all of our programs is you are exempt from doc stamps on the mortgage and intangible tax. And again, your loan officer can help you understand what that saving is. Always, when you're getting down payment assistance loans, always make sure your loan officer is explaining those 4 different types of down payment assistance terms that I gave you, the grants, forgiveness, the deferred, or a loan, to make sure you understand what's going on. And succinctly, ladies and gentlemen, on these loans where the down payment assistance is paid back, where does that money go? It goes back into the pot of money to help other buyers in the state of Florida to get down payment assistance to purchase their home. And so if I didn't say this before, I'll say it again, which is the Florida Housing Finance Corporation, our down payment assistance is available in any city or county in the state of Florida.
Well, thank you, Mark.
Lucy, that's what I got for the moment.
Good.
I'm sure.
Well, we're at the end of the show, so it's been amazing to have you on, and the information is so important to all of our listeners. So we're going to go ahead and sign off at this point. So if you want to just give your information again, Mark, and then I'll give mine, and Lucy will give hers.
Great. So my name is Mark Pease. You can send any email to us at DPA for down payment assistance at floridahousing.org. The main phone number here is 850-488-4197. I am the only Mark at Florida Housing, so if you call, you indeed reach out to me. Lucy and Debbie, I appreciate the time today, and if you need any additional information, please let me know. But I wish everybody a successful 2023. Let us know how we can help you get into your next home.
And we appreciate you coming on our show today, Mark. This is wonderful. You cleared up so many questions that many buyers may have.
Yep, definitely. And of course, I'm Debora Crane, and my number is 386-690-7278. And my actual email is Debora Crane, Florida Home Loans @outlook.com. So you may not remember that, but please remember my number. Thank you.
And once again, I'm Lucy Desmore, a broker associate at Realty Pros Assured, and also chairperson of the Housing Opportunities Committee for Daytona Beach Area Association of Realtors. It's been my pleasure today. My number is 386-295-7758. My email is lucy@realtyprosassured.com, and we'll see you next time.
Have a great one.